I
Okay.
feel like with that, it's more of a. I would be shocked to find out different.
Right. Really
Like
shocked.
even it was a dude that I was told something about in college that I wasn't really close with, but I was a little shocked by because he was my host on my visit to go to school. And I was a little shocked when I heard some of the things. I was like, dang, I just didn't think that was you. But I never put it past nobody. But at the same time, you hold different people to different standards. So it's like I would be pretty shocked.
You hold your people to a different standard for sure. Like especially when you rocking with them on a consistent basis, you do think you kind of know them, and then you be like, wow, when they blow you away. It's, for me, I've had a lot of people that shock me, bro. I'd be like, yo, what? Like, but then you always have to acknowledge the fact that every situation like warrants a different response out of certain people too, bro. Like some people just can't handle just certain types of pressures. Like everybody got their vices. And sometimes you find out people's vices at some crazy times. And you be like, dog, whether they get caught or whether they do it with you, like on some random, like just like, yo, what you doing, bro? Like, what you got going on?
I mean, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? DeMarcus, what's good?
The hood.
Turn the lights on.
Turn the lights on. Oh.
Okay. Y'all
That's not what we're gonna do.
Can't laugh, my face hurt.
Are you driving?
Yeah, are y'all doing the podcast or y'all just?
Bro, we live, baby.
We live right now.
Yeah, DeMarcus, we promote safe driving on this podcast. Put the phone down while you're on the road.
Pull over.
I ain't got the thing in my hand. It's a little handle thing. Calm down.
All right. Well, I guess we ready to rock and roll then. DeMarcus will just go with the flow. Shoot. So, Be Like Podcast mission statement: we the #1 mentorship for mindset development, career ascension, education, and leadership cultivation. Our DNA, is authentic, positive, respect all sex, race, religion, political views and preferences, because we for all people. We like to have a great sense of humor. We're funny. We like to have a good time. So welcome back to the Be Like Podcast. It's your boy K Sloan here with the homies.
Jay John.
Jay Jiggity, got the brain.
It's your boy Nate G. Carey. I want to interject on that intro. I no longer support all preferences because some people prefer to be stupid.
And then we got the wise, the wop, and the wisdom. My face hurt. Introduce yourself, bro. We can't see you.
The man in the dark.
He never introduced himself.
But what if somebody never watched the podcast
Working
before?
the wheel like always. Mr.
Go. If you know, you know.
You know, you know. You know. Oh, man, my face hurts. My teeth hurt.
Shout out to Dennis.
Yeah, my dentist, man, he pulled them wisdom teeth out, and we still here.
I'm talking about.
We still here. We still here. What y'all got going in this world, this crazy world we live in? This amazing world, but this crazy world we got to build on. What y'all got going on here?
I broke my
shopping
clipper.
For these toys.
Huh?
Shopping for these toys.
Oh, shopping for the toys. Shopping for the toys.
I don't want to know what you thought I said.
I thought you said we them boys. I was like, okay. I was like,
yeah. I
might have ate the wrong piece of candy or something because I know
we them boys.
That's exactly what I'm gonna say after Christmas Eve. We them boys.
We them boys. Nah.
I broke my clippers, so I got a little baby afro right now. But my they coming in tomorrow, my new one, so we're gonna be all right around here. But shout out to the Astros. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the Astros.
That's the kind of world we live in.
What'd you say, DeMarcus?
That's the kind of world we're living in. When it got you some clippers, everybody waiting for stuff to be delivered.
Well, the thing is, when I broke them, I didn't know I broke them, and then I got a work event Saturday, and the clippers I wanted was on Amazon for sale. It was kind of like a perfect time. It just had to happen.
Hey, but what kind of work event you got going on Saturday though?
Oh, just a dinner. We got a Christmas dinner at my job, but before that, we're gonna do the giveaway, toy giveaway. So Saturday, 10 a.m. We're giving away some toys. I definitely still have $50 to spend. Somebody just sent me $50 more, so thank y'all. So I'm gonna go get a couple gift cards or something. So yeah, we're gonna have a good time. DeMarcus, you went shopping yesterday?
Why you always trying to put me on the spot? I told you we was going shopping Friday. Friday. Tomorrow, Friday.
Oh.
Well, the market going shopping Friday. I got toys. I got toys in the classroom. I got toys in the house. We finna
I do
have
gotta get the
two.
toys from the school. I'm glad you
Yeah.
said this, huh?
Yeah, bro. We got toys on toys. The kids finna get them toys. They finna get
How
all
we
that
gonna-
work on
How
Saturday.
we going? Are we linking up to get the ones from Austin and Houston? Are you bringing? How are we gonna get the ones for Nate? How we doing that? Carry this your question.
Oh, from Nate?
So we should talk
For
about
Nate. You got some
For
toys
Nate.
for Nate?
Yes, I do
Yeah.
have toys for Nate. Yes. We're gonna get the ones to Nate. We're gonna link up. We're gonna talk about it off the podcast. We'll talk logistics, but we're gonna split them and we're gonna get them going both ways. Proscious
Okay.
People's Fearless Foundation. We gotta do it big. So we're gonna get them both going. But
Why in the group chat you said I was tripping, Carrie?
you know why.
thank you, Nate. Why Jarrell trying to man, look, we're not gonna play with Jay Jones today.
You put everybody on the spot.
Yeah, right, DeMarcus. It's all good. It's all good. Let's go ahead and get into it though. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. So, boom, starting out. We had talked about some things, DeMarcus. You ain't get the conversation, but you here. So we're gonna chop it. Gonna wanna.
Yes, ma'am. Gunna.
Gonna wanna. Yes, ma'am.
And we quote, since I'm gonna introduce that part of this.
Yeah.
Gunna, we know my boy been locked for a while. Him and Thug been locked up. He just got released. What was it? Yesterday, today, something like that. He got released. And of course, the whole talk amongst the internet is he a snitch or not? I'm gonna let everybody else decide.
I like this one.
I like this.
Okay. So what we know from the video that was released of him taking the plea, the rapper swore that he has personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance of the gang, but seems to distance himself from YSL the gang versus YSL the label. I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL the gang to the detriment of my community. Gunna acknowledged in the signed statement, YSL as a gang must end. Gunna also attested in the plea deal that he was in a car with Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, when officers pulled him over, found hydrocodone, methamphetamine, and a firearm inside. According to the plea agreement, Gunna claimed the gun and drugs weren't his. It's unclear if anyone else was in the car at the time. Per the plea agreement, the rapper will have to perform 500 hours of community service, and a substantial portion of which will require him to speak to young people about the hazards and immorality of gangs and gang violence. So, is he a snitch? Bro, I don't know. I ain't gonna call the man a snitch because, like I was saying, like right before we started going live here, at some point, if you in it, you in it, but it's levels to this, right? Gunna, Thug, they the money behind this whole thing. That's the face of it, and I just feel like they not gonna be the ones who sit. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Thug catch some kind of a plea deal coming up soon either. And I don't think that really means that they a snitch. What I do think it means is everybody got to understand different levels of that kind of life, right? Like it's not sweet out there. Y'all think, bro, you can go out here and do all of these different things, talk about it. Rap. I told y'all this. I remember me and Jarrell talked about this way back in college. If you did the stuff that you rapping about, you are stupid to rap about it. That's dumb. Like I shot him. I'ma tell you that I shot him. I sell dope. I got the dope at my grandma's house. That's dumb, bro. If it's just art, it's just art. You going on about it. But I would say, if anything, young aspiring rappers, young aspiring artists, people who want to be around their life, y'all take a lesson from this, man. And really realize it's really not sweet out here. It's not, because they will catch you up. They tried to put a RICO case on them boys. That's big business. RICO case, that's hard to beat. So Yeah, it's more than music, son. It's way more than music. That's real life. And the reality of it is that affects so much more than just the people that are around you. We talking about people's families. When we start talking about gang violence, yeah, y'all might live by a certain code. It's one thing, but it's other people in the world who are gonna be affected by that as well. So take all of that into account, man. Take a lesson from it. That's my real thing to take away from this.
100%. I agree 1000%, bro. Is that when you in it, like did Gunna snitch? Did Gunna not snitch? I mean, at this point, only Gunna got to deal with the repercussions of whatever. But on the outset, what I'm saying, us not being in the situation and being outsiders and the people that are fans of Gunna and Young Thug and YSL, you gotta look at it like this, man. People, you making a vow to the streets when you in the streets, bro. You making a vow. You essentially are marrying the streets, and you saying you love something that's not gonna love you back. Like it's shown time and time again, it don't love you. So, a lot of these rappers that get into the game and they already was in the streets sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They get into the rap game to get away from the streets. And then you got some rappers that get into the rap game and then get into the streets afterwards. I'm hoping these brothers ain't on that side of it. I'm hoping it was something they were trying to get away from. But when you talk about this RICO charge and the severity of it, y'all know what RICO charges, they'll get your mama, they'll get cousins, close friends, anyone you even talk to on the cell phone, they'll lock them up. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the severity of these charges and the culture that's perpetuated through these 808s and these beats that go hard. It's like, bro, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. This music culture is just like, it has to have more accountability. And I'm not saying that we got to be preaching on the track all the time, but if you about that life and you doing that, bro, I don't feel sorry for somebody that has to deal with that, bro. Like I'm and it's my youngsters come talk to me about this all the time. Saying, Jay Jones, I was telling you a minute ago, the youngsters was like, man, you see Gunna, this and that. And I'm like, hey, y'all need to understand that even though y'all listening to these dudes and these lyrics, like, let you go out there and do something similar. Like, bro, they're gonna try to put you up under the jail. And you can't get up in there and start crying and singing like canaries once they, once they tell you what them charges look like, 15 to 20 at the minimum. You know what I'm saying? Life at the maximum. Cats out here getting double lives. You know what I'm saying? And you can't start crying at that point. You gotta take ownership in anything you do. You can't sit on the fence on nothing, bro. Once you make a decision and you ride with your dogs, no matter what, like I said before, sometimes you say, okay, I'm riding with my dogs, you know what I'm saying, to the grave. Well, the grave, it could be a quick death or it could be a long death where you got to go sit down. So, either way, when you choose that life, that's what comes with it. And us being brothers, we have to make a decision because, all right, I guess we make a decision on the route we're going to take, what teams we're going to rock with because we pack animals. We love to have groups. We love to have teams. You make a decision on that team you're going to rock with, just know what that comes with. That's all I'm saying. That's what I got from it. In the way we can help people be a light and be able to, gain from the situation.
I think the best thing that happened from this, and I hope if Thug do take a plea deal, I hope they both become mentors. Like Nate just said, he has like 500 hours of community service. I hope, I don't want all rappers to get arrested or anything, but I wish all rappers that even sold drugs and stopped doing it, I wish they would mentor the younger rappers and the younger generation because like y'all just said, you might start in the dope game, become a rapper, you making all this money rapping, you throw the dope game away and make the rap money, and it's legal. You don't have to watch over your shoulders and anything. So I hope Gunna, snitch or not, whatever y'all want to say, I hope he goes and he touch other young men's lives, young men and women that want to be thugs and maybe catch RICO charges and stuff. I hope he can go out there and like, hey man, it's real. I could have did 15, 20 years, but I'm out here talking to y'all. So like, I hope they listen to him, and I hope Thug get out too. Free Thug too, and I hope he can get out and give the same message. Because I know Young Jeezy said like he was doing both at first, and T.I. came to him with like, bro, you about to make way more money. You could have made with that. You can make it off this rap game, and you ain't got to look over your shoulder. And Jeezy stopped doing it. So you just need that mentor. A lot of us just need that mentor, somebody we look up to. And like we say, the entertainers are the mentors. So maybe they can all learn something from these RICO charges, man. So,
like Sloan said, man, what team are you on, bro? What kind of team captain are you gonna be? Like, if you leading all your people down the path of, I hate to say like the cliche, you lead them down the path of destruction, but that's really what it is, though. if you leading everybody to say, man, we gonna take this route that we know the likelihood that it ends up crashing and burning is high, what's the point? All right. Like, why not go a different way about it? But that's living in the moment. That's a whole bunch of other stuff, the instant gratification, like DeMarcus would say. It's a lot of things I think that go into that, but that's the mindset shift that we gotta have. Just like last time we talked about what people want to see from Prime supporting the HBCUs. But we just had a young black doctor on here. Why ain't that the team that you want to be on? Where you actually following behind people who are successful, where you have positive role models. But again, it's on us as the community to say, what will we choose to glorify at some point, right?
Yeah.
So,
And them teams with young black doctors on it, or teachers or counselors or police officers or firefighters or even entrepreneurs or whatever, wherever you see people trying to build something the honest way, sometimes it makes people that are used to making their money in a different way, maybe a little bit uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? It puts a different type of accountability on you. And I think it's important that no matter where you at, you should feel like you could build with anybody, because at the end of the day, if it means better, it should be for you. Right? Because I think us as kids, we had an innate sense of what was right and what was wrong. Like, we knew what was right, what was wrong, but it was like culture started to influence us, and then that kind of shifted what was right and what was wrong because it became popping. You feel me? And like, I seen something that somebody posted the other day. I reposted. I kind of want to find that joint real quick, but it was like basically saying that hold on, let me find that joint real quick. I gotta see what it said. It said fallacies, which are lies, do not cease to be fallacies because they become fashions. That's from GM Chesterton. And that's just like, hey, bro, some things you endorse and you rock with are lies, bro. Like, you got to really analyze the fact that, hey, man, if I got a brain, I should be able to put them zeros and ones together and say, this don't make sense. 2 + 2 does not equal 4 here. It equals 152. I need to get up out of Dodge.
Oh, yeah, you need to run.
I need to get up out of Dodge, bro.
That's 148 points away from being
you off, bro. You gotta, and it's like, bro, it makes sense if you really break it down like that. But a lot of times, what kind of dilutes that message is, you know what I'm saying, who you rocking with, how much they make it look good. They put shiny gold on it, and you know what I'm saying, they got that bust down and that you know what I'm saying, that brand new V whatever engine, that thing with some ladies in it. Nah, bro, it ain't gonna make sense though. Can you sustain it? Can you sustain it?
And those moments are not sustainable, is the thing. Like, it's the moment, bro. You got to have some kind of thought for your future. Like, it's DeMarcus got home fast.
Now, Adidas shirt. I see you ripping the Adidas, boy.
But that's what it is, man. Y'all got to realize a lot of stuff that is hot in the moment is just not sustainable. Like, I was talking to one of my students about this the other day. The kid then she basically got kicked out of our school. Ended up, she was about to go to another school. Had a couple days left in the week just to finish out, get to Christmas break. Couldn't choose to do right. Got put in like the in-school suspension. Still couldn't do right. Got suspended for the rest of the week. But talking to her, every time I talk to this kid, it's like you can see, one, I see it's manipulation that she can definitely pull and be like, oh, I don't want to be a bad kid, blah, blah, blah. But if you got that kind of mind, what it also showed me is the people that you're around. Because, oh, well, I was there, but I didn't do the bad stuff. I was there, but I didn't do the worst stuff. If that's your mindset, you fighting with yourself. Honestly, that's my whole thing that I get from it is a lot of people do know right from wrong. And they do know that they really don't want to be living a crazy life like that. But it's who you around, and it's the thrill of the moment or something that keeps you locked into that. So
culture big.
Culture is big, but it ain't never too late to change. I ain't gonna say my boy name, but one of my partners from high school made a huge change in his life. Former dope boy, all that, was living the life that we talking about. And seemingly, I ain't really super close with him to always talk to him, but seemingly out of nowhere, from what I've seen on social media, man hit a complete 180. And I'm proud to see that kind of stuff, because they let you know that at some point, people do kind of hit that switch and realize I can do so much better in life. I can have a positive impact on my community, the people around me, all of that. You don't have to stay on those same paths.
That sounds stressful anyway, man. Being a dope boy, and every time you see a cop or, you got to watch over your shoulder. You don't know who watching you, who trying to rob you and stuff, man. So I don't know, man. I feel like y'all saying, we went from Adidas to Nike.
Oh, well, versatile. Oh, versatile.
Nah, I just want to see these entertainers. I know that's kind of what we were talking about last time with Dr. Rice, but I want to see situations like this turn out to be positive for the next generation. So if they look at it the right way, So.
Mm-hmm. And I think another thing is to be said about what you said, Jarrell, about that life that you live in. If you live a life where you constantly are looking at risks that don't or they're outweighing the reward on a consistent basis, then I feel like it messes with you mentally. Now, if you feel like the risk you taking makes sense in regards to the reward that you'll get, I don't even want to put the name on the situation, but what you're doing, then it's okay. If you feel like, or if you feel like it's like, okay, this is balance, then do you. Because you now, as a man or a woman, are accepting the responsibility because you've weighed the risk and the reward. But I feel like in situations where we talking about, when it's culture involved, these people aren't weighing the risk and the reward. They're just doing what they think they should be doing in that situation because of who they're around, or what's popping, or what's gonna get them money, or what's gonna give them that attention, what's gonna feed that hole. And that's the problem. To me, that's the problem. And DeMarcus, I see you shake your head. No, you saying you disagree, or are you saying that you think that's wrong?
I disagree. I don't know. Of course, as y'all know, I've been on and off the podcast. So I don't know where the initial question started, but from conversation that y'all are having, I know that a lot of young men may get discouraged by the longevity of true success. So they look at the dope boy success, whether it's true or not, and it seems more obtainable. So I don't necessarily have to have a perfected or a gifted skill. I just got to go get some dope, get out here and get some money, and to celebrate it too.
But see, my argument to that is why do we have so many kids that, and you see it all the time on First 48, where these kids will get there and they be crying, like they crying, they like little children, and it's like they still babies, right? It's more attainable, but it's like you weren't able to weigh the risk, like you didn't know that you really was gonna sit down for this crime that you and your boys is committing. Like there's no way you really had an understanding that this is like I'm one misstep away from losing my entire relationship with my baby girl. Like you didn't understand, because if you knew, you would take the L. You would eat the L.
Because
right?
that is not a feasible risk in the mind of somebody that's going down that road. They don't think of that risk. That risk is not thought of, and it ain't just young men. It's all men. Right. When I got knocked off, y'all were talking about snitches and stuff. Well, hell, I don't think he'll matter if I say I have a family member that's in law enforcement, that's deep in law enforcement, and they have told me and Jarrell and whoever that everybody snitches, because when reality hits, and you go into that cage and you see how your life can potentially be for the next 20, 30, 40 years, then it's like, okay, self-preservation kicks in real hard. And like he said, everybody will snitch. Everybody will tell. Everybody will do, because self-preservation kicks in. And you don't know what they're saying on the next side of that wall. I hope y'all can hear me, but
no, 100%.
You don't know what they're saying on the next side of that wall. So I don't think anybody takes it as reality. Look at Michael Vick. I don't know if y'all seen when Michael Vick was talking about I think it was Shannon Sharpe. And Shannon Sharpe said, when did you realize it was real? He said, when the door closed and nobody came to get me the first night.
I said, you sat in there and cried for 2 weeks.
But that's but see, that goes back to why that's the issue though, right? That's what leads people down that road to getting into the, to where you actually get jammed up. And it's like you have these missteps because you're not weighing the risk and the reward properly to me. I
Yeah.
feel like in a situation where you gotta jump off the porch, bro, you all in. Ain't no time for reality to hit once the door shut, bro. Like you jumped off the porch. Now with Michael Vick, he was doing the dog deal, you know what I'm saying? And I think our culture, that's kind of been normalized over the years until him. That was like the first time it was like mainstream where it was like, whoa, we can't dog fight. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. But
Carry. The dope boy has been normalized in our culture.
But it has. It has 100%. But I'm still saying though, even though it has been normalized, and we're not going to stop. I feel like even if the most famous people in the world that was in our culture got up there and said, "Hey y'all, let's stop selling dope," that would just stop like that because it's systemic. You know what I'm saying? Like this has been built into our culture. But at the same time, though, I think it's very important to understand risk management. I think it all stems from there, bro.
I think another thing with this risk and reward, especially for the young ones, young men, young women, everything's like fantasy land to them. I think they just gonna get 1 star on Grand Theft Auto if they do something stupid. They don't realize, they don't realize like that 1 star is a felony in real life. You know what I'm saying? So I think they play so many games and they it's almost like I know I ain't gonna get arrested. Like I can't get arrested,
Read the law. Like if you want to play with the law, why don't you go read the law? Why don't you go sit down with some? And it's not like it's not possible. I mean, we could say like, yeah, that's why they do it. Like I get it. Like that's what ignites it. We all have those dark thoughts that ignite in us when we're young. Like we've all had feelings of maybe we could do something that we ain't supposed to be doing. Like, hey, like, bro, I might actually be able to get that done. But as you become educated by somebody or something, it starts to put some reality into your brain. You need that dose of reality. You need that little sip of reality. Like, okay, what's the realness in this though? What is the real potential of what I can get out of this? Like for real though. Like I may be able to get something, but where do I want to go with this? And can I have a conversation with anybody about that? Like, and that's where mentorship come from. Like sometimes your biggest mentors be in the streets. And they the ones give you the feedback and saying, okay, well, when you get jammed, you know what I'm saying? The charges aren't going to be this deep. So, you know what I'm saying? If you do this, it's going to be this. If you do this, it's going to be this. So you're almost betting that you're going to get a charge, but hopefully it's not too bad to where you can come back to the streets. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like that's stuff that you can't have mentors give you that type of information. You got to be getting like the real stuff. So I feel like that plays a role in it. Like we were saying about culture, like it's who you around. I really think that helps. I think it really does help.
Entertainment is a very big part of everybody's culture, but it's a very big part of the African American culture. And our entertainment value is the Dope Boy, the Thotty Girl, the BMA is the best show on TV. Power is the best show on TV. It's not reiterated and it's not influenced to a point to where it almost looks like you have a choice. To be honest, me in a young man's mind, I would think, oh, that's the way. That's how I get there. That's how I make it in life or whatever. Not being an engineer, not, choosing some of these other paths that will take the equal amount of time, 5-10 years to make it there. But I see this, I so-called have taught myself through TV shows, this is how it works. Yeah, you got a chance of getting caught, but that's not what I think about. I think about making the money, stacking the money, and, becoming a millionaire, getting out of it, living the glam life, whatever, whether it's short-lived or not. I'd rather live that life instead of this boring life and hoping that I pass a class so I can get a degree and maybe do something with. I'm just being honest. Like that's in a young man's mind, that's what they're thinking.
And I mean that too, and plus the like you said, getting a degree and passing classes. When you're younger, what get the girls? The fast, crazy, the fun life. They don't want to be in their 20s dealing with guys looking to get degrees. They're trying to have some fun. So I think for men, we see. Hold on.
I got. I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time about the 20-year-old?
I said like when we're younger, that fast, fun life is appealing to young ladies. I think that
I'm gonna disagree. I'm
Let's put some
disagree.
ladies on here. Let's put some
Yeah, we
ladies on
need
here. and
yeah,
tell
we
the
need
truth.
some ladies to give us some because this is what I'm gonna
You
say.
don't you disagree with that?
No, I'm gonna disagree. This is why I'm gonna disagree. This is why.
Okay.
This is why. Because I feel like in my later age, I have, in me being a single man on this podcast, I've attracted more of the age group of that age group because they see me as more put together than when I was that age.
No.
When I was that age, I wasn't getting that level of attraction as now being older because females always want older dudes. Even back when we was in high school, older dudes was picking them up from where I'm from.
Yeah.
Where I'm
I mean,
from.
that's
But
I'm just
but-
saying.
but Kerry, you talking about an established dude and a guy at a young age. I can't meet the qualification that established dude has. So I got the life of being fun. Whether it's 100 ones is like a lot of money when it's really not. If I got 100 ones in my pocket and you talking to a guy that's trying to get his grades right and ain't got no ones in his pocket, like I have the ability to compete with that established guy. The dope boy competes with that established guy. The guy that's working on it to be established, you go get established, then come back and talk to me. I'm gonna go have some fun until you get to that point.
Man,
I've had a woman tell me
that.
this, Kerry. I've had a woman tell me this.
no.
It was kind of a joke, but she was like, I had an older guy told me, once he get done messing up your credit, beating you up and knocking you up with a bunch of kids, and you gonna come looking for an established guy like me. That was the fun life.
Man.
And I'm talking about two 21-year-olds, Kerry. I'm not talking about a 21-year-old compared to a 30-something-year-old. I'm talking about when you win college, you're gonna go for that athlete that's probably smoking weed. Not all, and I'm not saying all women. I'm saying the majority of the time, women even say like they want that fun, like that dude that's going to class and going study in his room after school. They're gonna be like, oh, he cool, but shit, I'm trying to go ride in this Mustang going 120 miles down the hour. They want that. They want to have
Fast
that fun.
life.
Yeah, the fast life when they're younger. I'm saying like, I get what you're saying. If they see a 35-year-old and a 21-year-old, that 35-year-old driving the Benz, yeah, they probably gonna go run to the Benz.
Women yearn for security. Once they feel grown, they looking for security.
Yeah, but a lot of people also yearn for status, and that's really what it is.
That's what it
gives you a
is.
certain status at a certain point.
That I'll say that then. I'll say if that to them, the status looks like it could be security, i.e., you having these things looks like you will be able to give me a home and a family and all that stuff. So I think subconsciously they be looking for that. Yeah, for sure. 100.
Yeah,
And if
it's
women
all
want to
about
join the
everything.
podcast, and y'all want to join the podcast and talk about this, ladies, or y'all want to hop in, just go ahead and drop a message because we can talk about it. Real talk, because I can stand on that. Stand on that.
I don't know. When I was 20, when I was in college.
But we different though. We men though. We different now.
No, I'm saying what I saw and what DeMarcus said. Like I saw the good guys that's getting their degrees, same age as these athletes that's smoking weed.
But it ain't about the guy. It ain't about the guys though. See, you talking on the same level though. I'm saying that when we are the same age, guys, girls, everybody the same age, they look it up because they mature faster than us. So they look it up. They look into the more established, the potential, you know what I'm saying, head of the household, the man that can hold me down. They look it up, bro. We the ones that be wilding out. Now I was the athlete. I was the, but Jay Jones, this is me speaking now. That I was the athlete that was wilding. I was doing the most. I ain't had bread like that, but I felt like I did. I had the juice. I feel like I had the juice. I was shooting my shots wherever I had to shoot my shot, and I was hitting. So I'm saying that even though I still know those same girls was leaving me to go upwards. Like I was watching them like, man, I'm like, y'all are rocking this old dude, but he had it together, bro. He figured it out. He's, you know what I'm saying, paying taxes and whatnot. He's doing his due diligence.
You mixing here, Kerry?
What's that?
Tricking. He was tricking.
Oh, that's a 100 for a show thing. But tricking is
relative. That's usually what it
but
is.
you know, trick is subjective though, Nate. You know, trick is subjective.
It ain't tricking if you got it.
You feel
it's
me?
Still tricking because you spin it though.
Hey, that's a bar. That's a bar though. That's a bar. Nate just hit a whole bar though.
That's definitely tricking. And yeah, they're gonna have fun with Kerry and then go get their money. You know,
get
they doing
money, get their bag
I'm
right.
saying
and I'm not
they're
even
having fun
I'm
with
not
Kerry. They're not having
to.
fun with Jeffrey that's in this room studying for his test. They're having fun with Kerry too. Then they go and get the money from old man. But you or the person ain't looking at the college.
I just want to let all the women know that I do not treat y'all that way. These guys are treating y'all as subjective pieces of money wanting, money grabbing. Anyway.
No. But look, I'm gonna
That's
use that as a perfect segue to our next topic, though. I see nothing wrong with tricking, but I especially congratulate women that make dudes spend it. I do, because make it worth your time, sweetheart. Honestly, like we all see all of the stories from all of these women.
You gotta tread like water with that one.
You pushing
gotta
the
tread like
the
water
message.
with that one, big
Feel the
dog.
message out there. You gotta be
Feel
more clear.
Feel me where I'm going. We see all of these horror stories of women in the dating world and the dudes that they talking about. Jarrell brought up the coach with the whole domestic violence issue, stuff like that, right? It's all kind of crazy dudes out here in the world. We got the Meg and Tory Lanez case going on. That's a dude that's a millionaire. I don't know how big of a star Tory Lanez really is or whatever, but this is a famous musician. You probably can get anything you want. But you went, I don't know what really happened, but the whole theory out there is that you shot another celebrity or whatever that you were supposed to be romantically involved with. It's dudes that got some kind of issues in the world, right? A lot of them. It's not a lot of people like us that sit here and have these conversations, and I believe that live the lives that we're talking about and inspiring people to live, right? So if those are the kind of dudes that you're going to be encountered with, make it worth your time. Make him buy you that bag. Make him do whatever it is. I ain't even mad at it. I can't be mad at it, because what else are you getting out of it but a headache?
Nate.
Nate, you gotta tread like
Nate.
water with that.
Hold on, Nate.
Talk to me.
You got a daughter coming.
Okay, OG.
I got a daughter coming.
You tell your daughter the same. You give your daughter the same advice.
I would tell my daughter, if he has nothing to offer you, leave it alone. If you see a future with a young, respectable man and y'all go work on things and y'all growing together, I'm cool with that. I'm going to tell my daughter, hopefully, enough that she can peep game and not waste her time on nothing dudes in the world. I love to just making terms.
You changing the message. You changing the message, man.
That's what I want to give my daughter, though. All these other girls ain't my daughters. They not my sisters. They not my cousins. I can't give them that message up front.
But check this out, though, Nate. Check this out. I want to add this to it.
But you want a platform where you giving them that message. You giving them that message.
Okay, so then, boom, there's that message. Yes, ideally, don't waste your time on these dudes, period. But I think that's a mute point at this point in life, because we see the same cycles continue to happen. Right. And maybe it's for dudes being able to put up a good front or whatever it is. Get something out of it. He can't be a bad dude and not spend nothing. He can't be a bad dude and you get nothing out of the matter but drama and stress in your life. At least walk out of it with a Louis bag or something. Like
I feel like anybody you connect to, you can to some degree. So when you connected with somebody that brings you nothing but stress, then you might have a little bit of stress factor to you. You might be a little stressful too, because you connected to somebody that ain't nothing. There's a little something in you that's kind of the same type of fabric. So I would add that to the conversation, but I would tread like water what you said though, Nate, because like DeMarcus was saying, you send it to the women, these gonna be the same women mentoring your daughter at some point, and you're gonna be like, man, where you get this information from? And we've been putting it out here to the universe. So that's all I'm saying.
Okay,
that's all I'm saying.
Nate is saying,
I know what he's saying.
Yeah, he ain't saying be like that. He's saying if you get nothing but stress and problems, try to benefit somehow. That's what you're trying to say. But don't go for those dudes. It's the first choice you're supposed to make. Don't even look at these dudes. And I know sometimes fun looks cool and money, like DeMarcus said, the dope boy might have $400-$500 in his pocket. Really not that much. Seemed like a lot when we younger, but really not that much when you get a little bit older. So just make great choices. You know, I know a lot of young women who say, you know, back in the day they were going for the fun and they regret, you know, some choices they made. So try y'all best.
I say stuff like this though, bro, because like I spend so much time on Twitter because I just like seeing what people be talking about, and it's amazing to me. You know how many stories I see of women talking about, oh, I talked to this dude, and then whoop-de-whoop, we were trying to go on a date, but he wouldn't even pay for the date. And it's like, and then you saw that conversation, and it's like, bro, you were talking to a dude with the second grade education level. Like he sound kind of slow. You could at least trick a little bit, take out for a nice steak dinner because you wasted the time. Do something because you bring nothing to the table.
But
And
that
I'm
ain't
on
even
this now because I want dudes to do better. And so if y'all aren't gonna do better, at least spend some money.
all right. Look, let's be real. Let's be real though. All you guys, if you invite a nice young lady on a date, you should pay. Let's go ahead and get that out there. You should pay. If you invited her, you should pay. If she invited you,
you should still pay.
Because it's
all
the
right,
first time.
but listen. This is where it's up for interpretation because now we're a new generation. So you guys need to have a conversation before y'all go. Now, us being gentlemen, and we coming from the age of chivalry was dominant. You know what I'm saying? That has now it has changed, bro. Because you have women. No, this is why you have women that will get disrespected. They will feel disrespect if you do not allow them to pay. So you have to have that conversation. So I just want to put that out there now.
On the first date.
Yeah, bro. There's women that will feel disrespected.
They're to the point where especially if they asked you out, they will feel like you feel like I can't pay. Like, and he's right. It's weird, but he's right. I've heard about these stories. Women like, oh no, I got it. Like I can pay for mine. And it's like, whoa, I was just trying to be.
I would deal with that conversation and deal with. I think you should pay because you asked. Like,
nah, you should just have an open dialogue.
I can usually say, oh, I ain't trying to disrespect you. I'm just trying to be a gentleman.
And that's where you say, if you try to be the gentleman, you be like, you know, I got it. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do. And then she may be impressed or she may still, some women going to want to pay. So y'all conversation.
If you ask to, okay, I can put my wallet back if that's what's going to make you happy. Cool. I am not tripping on.
But I want to introduce this topic though. You kind of talked about it a little bit. I want to introduce the story with the basketball coach from UT. So then what happened with him was, so everybody knows, because we talked about it a little bit, University of Texas Austin men's basketball head coach Chris Beard was arrested and charged with third-degree felony assault on Monday. And the officers responded to a disturbance on the 1900 block of Vista Lane at 12:15 a.m. local time. He was arrested. He was charged with an assault on a family or household member by impeding breath circulation, and they booked him into Travis County Jail at 5:18 a.m. according to the county sheriff's office.
Somebody else? Impeding breath circulation.
A very fancy way to talk about choking somebody else.
That's nice.
We spoke on, or I spoke on this before, and I'd love to hear you guys' point of view on, you know what I'm saying, men, athletics, sexual assault. Or assault in general, or violent crimes. What do y'all think? Do y'all feel like there's a trend with this? I mean, I don't want to make any hasty generalizations, even though I kind of have my own thoughts on this, but like, what do y'all think this stems from? What do we need to do as men, being former athletes, being men that deal with athletes a lot, being men that consume, you know what I'm saying, entertainment that is athletics and all that? What do you think we need to focus on in that regard? What's y'all's thoughts?
I think a lot of
good fight people.
Huh?
Allow good men to fight people.
Allow good men to fight people.
That's a way.
I think it is. Go ahead.
You get the healthy out of you ain't gonna do some of the stuff that you be doing. If you know somebody will show up and beat the hell out of you for what you did, you gotta stop doing some of the crazy stuff you do.
Like we need to have a good man mob, just beat up all the bad men.
We got
I think that will help.
Every Sunday we go out in mobs and cars and just jump out of cars, just beat up all the bad dudes.
Yeah, round them up and let's just beat them down.
I think, Kerry, I think we talked about this before, but like, I think we need to learn how to, on the field, on the court, because you do have to go to a certain place to be that athlete, that whatever sport you playing. And you do have to, yeah, and I think a lot of coaches say they want to build good men on the field and off the field. So I think we need to learn how to, because every football was a lot of people's outlets. Like when I was angry, I go tackle somebody, you know what I'm saying? After you're done playing football, you got to find that next cope straight, that next thing that can help you get over whatever you're going through. Punching bags, punching bag. I used to have a punching bag. Like, you get angry, go work out, go exercise. So I think a lot of us don't know how to get that out anymore, get whatever's in us, that aggression out. And somebody might piss you off one day, and then, or you might be drinking, or you might have a flash, anything, man. We got to find other ways to get that aggression out instead of trying to hurt other people. And I know it's hard because we all talk about it. Even in my head, sometimes it didn't cross my mind. Somebody said something, did something, but I'm like, man. And then you got to look around, read the room, know where you at, and try to calm down another way. So
It's a question to me of, I just don't understand what's going through your mind. Like, at what point do you truly cross that line where you don't care what you're going to give up anymore? Kerry just talked about a coach at UT. It's one of the biggest schools in the nation.
$5 million a year.
$5 million. You know how much stuff I won't do for $5 million? Like, stuff that ain't even against the law. You can don't watch football for $5 million a year. All right, well, show me soccer games. I'm not tripping. Like, anything. There is so much I will not do for $5 million, but there's no switch in your brain that was able to catch you before you went and did something that kind of detrimental. And it's acts of emotion. It is go and get emotional help is what a lot of these dudes need. You have to go and get emotional help because it's something not clicking there, bro. Well, we see these stories way too often. And yes, like the whole go to, a dark place, whatever it is that we put on with sports and all of that stuff. I think that is very real. But at some point, you have to become a more complete person. You have to become a more complete human being. And you have to be able to differentiate the two. I don't know if this is true or not. We don't really hear about that many martial artists hauling off and beating the life out of people for no reason. And they train in combat all the time. It probably happens. I'm not saying that none of them have done anything, but we don't hear about that nearly as much as we hear about football player hit somebody, right? There's people who train in combat all the time, but there's so much respect put into it and things like that. I think they understand they have more control. So I don't think that it's just that you do something physical or quote unquote violent that makes you like that. You have to have that kind of balance within yourself to be able to control yourself, man. Like, go get help. Go, like, talk to somebody. That's what therapy is for. If you got that kind of uncontrollable anger, like, you have to do something about it that's detrimental to your life. That's detrimental to people around you. But at the end of the day, if you cannot stop yourself from doing something stupid, what are you going to get out of it?
Jail.
Before I lose it, because I had just started typing, so I don't lose it. I want to piggyback on two things that y'all said. Nate, you were talking about emotional control. I believe that a lot of men have been over feminized and not taught by men to be men. So we don't have that control. And nothing against single women, but if you learn from a woman and you learn outbreaks and lashing out and stuff like that, you never know your limits. You get in a fight with another woman. You've never been taught the control or the respect that you learn in martial arts for yourself and for your potential opponent. Like, I've seen people who are martial artists. There's a clip going around on the internet. I want to say it's a white guy and a black guy. They're at a basketball game. The white guy knows jiu-jitsu. The black guy comes to punch him. He drops to the ground. They do this little grappling routine. He gets to a point to where he's like, hey, you will never play another day in your life again because I'm about to snap your neck. I'm about to snap your foot. And the guy was like, okay, they stopped. But there was always that respect for who he was battling against. I don't think we have that same respect as the new athlete of who we're battling against, because like Jarrell will say, you go to a different place. The athlete, the warrior, whatever. You have to know how to turn that off. And I'm not sure that all coaches are teaching men to be men. They teach you how to battle. They teach you how to progress. They want you to do good off the field, but I'm not sure all coaches are teaching men how to be men.
All
So
coaches aren't qualified to teach all men to be men.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. All coaches aren't good men themselves. Like
So
they're not.
you teaching how to push the point, how to go past the point, and that's what you learn. You learn in a total warrior sense. You got to know how to differentiate the field, the battleground, and not the field, not the battleground. But it's an accumulation thing. I really do think there's a part of it that is just we have been over feminized, man. We are too far emotional, and there has to be a balance because we are men. If we acting too much emotion, man, I think we're gonna have chaos in this world.
Are you saying that uncontrollable aggression is a feminine quality?
I might not be on the show too much longer, but sometimes
I'm not even trying to set you up on that.
No. I do think sometimes yes, because I've been in arguments with women and they can blow up and go crazy, but a man can sit here and say, calm down.
Okay.
You've gone too far. Or even if a woman is trying to fight me, my strength versus her strength, and respecting who she is, I can literally grab her. She can feel my strength, and I can be like, stop. And everything cuts off. I don't think that works vice versa.
Okay. I'm not mad at that.
I mean, this is a general sense. I'm not saying in every sense, but yes, I will say I agree with that statement.
And we talked about masculine and feminine principles on the podcast before, just like talking about how like more the masculine energy lies more on the logic side, feminine energy more the emotion side. So I get what you're saying, DeMarcus. And I think my angle on this whole thing is when it comes to specifically the lack of control in regards to, you know, putting our hands on women or, you know, say just disrespecting women in any kind of way. You get more into your masculine bag to me when you show more respect for your women, for your woman, for your sister, for your daughter. I've never felt more in my own power than when I had my daughter. And I, you know, felt that act of protection for my daughter when I, you know, was holding her, when I was raising her, you know, just the feeling of, you know, respecting and that type of energy, it raises you up as a man. And I think when, like DeMarcus was saying, when you act over aggressively and you lose control, as we're taught to do at times, you know, get into that dark place, get angry, you know, find a way to be able to lose yourself a little bit. That doesn't work. That doesn't work at all situations. It's not real life, right? It's just not real life. You got to work out. You got to meditate. You got to read books. Or if you don't do these things, you got to have some type of entertainment to where you can release those feelings of like that build up, that stress. That's what it is. It's cortisol levels raising in your body and then it explodes. And now you look foolish. You look crazy. You're embarrassing yourself at 12:15 a.m. And you know what I'm saying, you strangling your significant other. And now you're in a situation where you have to apologize publicly for some foolish stuff you done did, and it's not in your character, but it is though, because you've suppressed it and allowed it to come out in certain ways. Now, I'm gonna bring this to the party. I don't know what football player it was, but they were talking about his outburst. I think it was Jerry Jeudy, a receiver from the Broncos, and I think he took his helmet off and he was like pretty much throwing temper tantrum on the field. Grown man, NFL player. And he's snapping, he bumped the ref. And they were talking about it on Twitter like that's passion. That's the game, right? But how come that's okay there? But if I go into the supermarket right now, I start snapping because they ain't got no chili peppers, and I bump the lady at the, you know what I'm saying, in aisle 8, bro, they finna put me in jail, bro. Like they finna tackle me in there if security around. And we have to understand that there's a double standard when it comes to athletics in real life, bro. Like it really is. And you see it a lot, but we don't address it because it's not an issue till it's an issue. And then you want to, you know, the media, they get ratings for, you know what I'm saying, getting all this traffic and oh, you know what I'm saying, University of Texas a basketball coach now getting arrested for this and this and this. Now he got to talk, and now the ratings boosting up. I got a belief in my head that they actually want to see some of this stuff happen. I think that it helps.
Of course,
It helps their
adds
bottom line.
clicks. Of course,
Yeah.
they can monetize. But
Right.
to go to your point of how that works on the football field and not in the supermarket, that's what I was saying about you got to understand when you're on the battlefield and when you're not on the battlefield. It is a double standard, but it's two separate sections of your life. Like when you're on a battlefield, it's cool to chop somebody's head off. You know what I mean? Like we at battle. This is why we at battle. You come back home and chop somebody's head off, everybody look at you like you're crazy. Like lock him up. He needs to be in an insane asylum.
And the coaches can only correct that. The coaches, let's say the senseis, the masters, the people that are really, guiding these athletes or guiding the coaches, even because the coaches were coached too. So the people that are guiding these individuals, you got to kill that in practice. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we are aggressive, but we are controlled aggression. Like we gonna get down when it's time to get down, but when it's time to shut it off, you better shut it off. When that whistle blow, hey, go back to the huddle. Or you know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Coach, like I know you mad at my partner, but look, you ain't finna talk to him like he ain't no man. Like we need to go ahead and address it. Like, bro, that stuff has to happen because that's where you get it carrying over into real life. I feel like that uncontrolled, wilding out, just crazy things, bro, that I think come from fostering recklessness. I mean, I feel like
I think that,
We lost a sense of man too.
and then what you said, another thing, control of aggression in football is actually better. You actually become a better player. I played one game, I was so mad at nothing. I killed the guard every play. I played defensive tackle. Guard on the ground, I'm killing them every play. They running right in my gap because I'm laying on top. I'm killing them. And my coach was like, you whooping his ass, you whooping him. He said, but they could just run up the A gap because you focused on him. So controlled aggression is even in the game because you got to know I need to beat him, but after I beat him, I need to stay in my A gap. Let they run the ball in my gap. I got to get him too. So you really got to control your aggression in life and in the game.
You're beating him for a task. You're beating him for a means to an end. Like you beat him only to get the job done. After the job's done, we moving on because this ain't everything. Yeah, we got a new job.
And we talk about that in the book. It's about discipline. But anyways.
Oh yeah. That's right. So I think we hit that good. And then I know
one more thing on this though, Sloan.
Yeah.
Because we brought that up. We're talking about violence against women. Bro, everybody got a mama. Even if you don't really like your mama, you got a mama. Like, you have a 50-50 chance of having a daughter. You might have a sister. You got cousins or grandma, all kind of stuff. So I don't understand the lack of respect for women. I don't. I really don't understand it. I ain't gonna say that you can't get frustrated at things like that. I'm not knocking none of that. But to actually just totally disregard that you can, it's not fun to me to fight people I know I can beat up. That's really where this comes from. I don't understand what goes on in your mind to say, oh, I'm just gonna beat the life out of this girl because I can, or because she pissed me off a little bit. It's dudes that I won't fight because I can look at you and say, just off the size alone, I can beat the hell out of you. So I'm not going to do it. It's no fun there. I don't understand like weak-mindedness, the lack of emotional control, whatever it is, but really the lack of like respecting women's positions in our lives, honestly. Especially like the situation we're talking about. That's a woman that you chose to be with. What did she really do that made you feel that? And what did she do that made you feel choking her was the right thing? And what is the outcome gonna be? What resolution do you get out of actually choking her? It is always my thing.
But like we talked about earlier, though. My bad, bro. Go ahead.
It's mental awareness, it's emotional control in the moment, bro. Like you go get pissed off, but you can't do things that are that detrimental to yourself.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, bro, like just like DeMarcus was saying with, you know what I'm saying, kids that go and deal anyway. Like they not thinking about it in that moment. They like when you get in a heated exchange with somebody that you care about and y'all been going through it and you had this frustration still in your mind for weeks, or maybe somebody got caught cheating, or somebody been going through text messages and all this stuff kind of building up. And then you see somebody as an equal and y'all feel like y'all in a combat zone. I feel like that's where you see these situations come from. And it's like, we got to stop seeing women as our equals because they're not. We're not equal. Women and men are not equal. They play that game and what? Time out what? They're not equal.
The market say tread lightly again.
My
Hey,
Tread lightly.
I feel like we're not. I feel like you know, say we can have the whole, you know, whatever conversation. But to me, the reason why I say we're not is because there's things that women can do that we can't do, and vice versa. Like you said, we stronger. And I feel like most times, you know what I'm saying, the communication realm, you got a lot of situations where these women are like, well, he's not communicating with me. So like when he's struggling to communicate, now you getting frustrated because you can't say nothing. You sitting there all puffed up and you mad. And now you thinking about acting out in a physical way. But that's low level. That's low level. You have to learn how to communicate better in that situation, young man. Take a step back. Maybe go out for a walk. Go do something else. Don't act out in the way that you know is your, you know what I'm saying, dominant way of acting, which is physicality. That's not. That's low level. That's the problem. That's the problem. Why would you ever feel like an option is putting your hands on her or calling her out her name and all that other stuff? You're missing the boat here. You chose this woman. You feel me? Like she's supposed to be the elevator for you. Like she's taking you up. The woman you choose is a very important choice in your life. Or even the women in your vicinity. These women around you, they can nurture situations. They're natural nurturers. Why are you disrespecting the natural nurturers? Without women, we don't have us. There's no people here without women. That's literally retarded. No, I'm not gonna say retarded. I can't say that. We get canceled. That is very.
We get
this is the one.
We
This is the one right
tonight. This the one, huh? But nah, man. We gotta be a lot more intelligent about how we as men handle women, and because our young boys is watching us. That's really the biggest thing. I see it all
That's
the
what I
time.
want to say.
Yeah, I see it all the time, bro. I be in the classroom, these young boys, man, they be saying explicatives and reaching out their hand and put their hand on a woman. I look at them like, bro, you ain't never felt no heat like the heat from Sloan. When I look at a young boy, when you finna put your hands on a young girl, it's like, what you got going on, dude? You an L.
Yeah.
Like you a walking L. What are you doing? You the lowest level of yourself right now. And they be knowing too, because we innately know right from wrong when we're doing things.
But that's what I believe a lot of young men are missing. And I wrote that so I didn't lose it.
Yeah.
But we went over this, and you can go back and podcast and find it. Like, men don't necessarily seek love, they seek respect, right? And you learn respect from another man. And just that same scenario that Carrie just talked about. And it also merges with the scenario that Nate talked about. You ain't gonna just whoop. Well, I don't know what they call it, Mr. Sloan. You ain't gonna whoop Mr. Sloan. You at least gonna take his word for what it is, and I'm gonna instill that respect in you, young man, because like you said, you a walking L. And I'm gonna tell you to your face. I'll tear you down to your face, and I'll build you back up. But you get that from a man that you respect,
Yeah,
and you might fear.
yeah.
And we put that all together and raise you up as a man. If you never gotten that, then a man feel like a woman is disrespecting him. He's going to inflict his power, his stance, and then we get some of these situations that we get. And there's nobody there to rectify it. There's nobody there to tap him on his shoulder and say that's not how you handle it. He done got grown, so especially now he grown. He an athlete. He been praised all his life, and he got money. He don't see anything wrong with nothing he does.
And specifically speaking to these coaches too, bro. Like when you out there with them, on them coaches retreats, and you be hearing how these coaches talk to their wives on the phone, or you hear how they be disrespecting, you know what I'm saying, the waitress at the table, bro. You gotta check that too. And I think, you know, we talked about earlier, you know, the solutions are the accountability pieces. It's like men can only hold men accountable, really and truly, because it means more. I ain't gonna say only, but I think it's the most important part. When another man that you may see as an equal, or, you know what I'm saying, just about as smart, strong, you know what I'm saying, in the same type of, you know, economic situation as you, kind of comes at you, y'all brothers, maybe y'all talk about it. It's like, hey, bro, like, I didn't really respect what you did right there that much. I kind of want to hear your point of view. I want to hear your side on it. You know, that's a different conversation. That's a real conversation. I had people that told me straight up, bro, like, I would have did that. Be like, well, you know, all right.
You know what's wrong though? I totally agree with what you're saying. And although I'm kind of joking when I say this is why we should be able to beat people up, that's really why I say stuff like that. Because a lot of dudes don't even respond to those kind of conversations. It's one thing to have a conversation, but you got to have something good in you to hear that and say, dang, you're right, I was tripping. I'm going to do better. A lot of dudes gonna turn around and say, bro, who is you? I
Mhm.
whoop you too. So come find out. Come to the real life fight club.
Hey, them the dudes though, when you respond like that, then as the person that came at you with the accountability, now you told me something about yourself. So you may not be ready to be, you know what I'm saying, in my circle consistently, because anybody in my circle, I mean, we gonna be able to check one another.
That's true. But that's the thing too. Not being in good circles is one thing, but it's not really the punishment that we think it is for some of these dudes. Because a lot of times they don't care. And you find circles that are filled with the same kind of people that you are, anyways. So you got a bunch of people around you who allow you to do these things, who I won't say congratulate you on these things, but accept what you're doing, really, or they see nothing wrong with it. They never check you on it. You stay in that same kind of mindset. And I hate it because we're talking about emotional control. And I'm not even saying this from an emotional place, honestly. Dudes just don't be responding to words sometimes. Sometimes you really got to knock stupid out of somebody, bro.
No, that's real. That's a whole, yeah.
That really is. I hate that we at that point in the world, but honestly, what other options is there? The same way we talked about Thug and them going to jail. Sometimes that's your wake up call, but that's physically going to sit you down somewhere and making you have to face what you're dealing with. So if you realize that there are actual repercussions for what you're doing in the world, I think that is where people kind of start, at least, even if it don't change your true mindset, it's gonna make you more aware and more cautious of your actions when you're doing it. And maybe that's the best that we can hope for at some points.
You said a whole lot just now. It's real.
And that's another thing that makes jail real. You know, I know some cop friends. You know, when you strip everybody of these guns and knives, and you go back here in these cells with these people that all you got is your hands and knees and feet, they gonna make you. They like you said, they gonna make you respect their word. Oh, really? Well, now I got like them old days say. Now I got to test your jaw.
Yeah, and
think about it. The people who get treated the worst in jail, you in there for doing something to women or kids. Be a Light Fight Club coming soon.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
Well,
But
so
hey,
how are we unlocking that light, fellas? How are we unlocking that light? When we
not
get
with the
about
Fight
it,
Club.
Sound like Nate gonna knock the light out of somebody.
knock the light out of you. That thing get hit. That thing.
Them Sonic coins gonna pop out of them.
Coins. Oh man, I guess I start, man. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like, you know, with this conversation we had, to me it sounds like, you know, just own it, man. Whatever you're doing, own it and keep your circles right, because your circles are really doing you, man. Your circles can be either, you know, a runway to your success, or they could be an anchor taking you down to the bottom of the sea, bro. You got to figure out who you're running with, analyze your circles daily. Analyze them daily because they taking you somewhere.
Either
Yeah, your friend ain't never checked you. Might want to check your friend.
Yeah, 100.
Self-reflection too, bro. It's one thing for people to check each other, and that is a very important part. But at some point, you got to stop and look at what it is that you're doing. Are you proud of the person that you are? Are you proud of the things that you do daily?
Yep.
And then I said this before, I just say it again. I mean, I said it earlier too. Get you a mentor. Build a healthy relationship with somebody that can teach you something, you know, somebody that's been through something. Find somebody, Mr. Sloan, you know, a teacher, a coach, a real coach, you know, a counselor, somebody you can kind of relate with that can teach you what they've been through and how to maneuver through life. Because I've had so many mentors, and I think seeing what they went through and then them teaching me what they went through, it helped me. I didn't want to try it. I seen you tried, it didn't work out. I'm good, you know. So find a good mentor. Good mentor.
Yeah. And speaking of mentors, the young Lil was on the podcast in the YouTube comment. Shout out to young Lil. We need to get him back on the podcast a couple of times, young Khalil, man. But man, Bill Light Podcast. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, like, leave comments, leave reviews, share this with a friend. Somebody need to hear it because we need to build some better men out here, man. We out here as men trying to, build better men and women, bring some understanding, bring some light about y'all, not ourselves. So, hey, yo. We out.